Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here, and welcome to another deck update. This time it's one of my absolute favourites. I probably say that in every video, to be fair to you, but yeah, Traptrix is one that's been on my radar a long time, and then they finally brought a structure deck out, and that sort of polished and sealed the deal for me. I had to build a deck. But I'd already been collecting a lot of the cards. I love the artwork. I think that it's absolutely a great concept. And you know, if you think trap decks, this is probably the one that sticks out in most people's minds. It's had some really good support. Not only that, but the artwork's been really good. So you know, I've been able to keep it up to date. Again, it's not a competitive build. There's plenty of cards in here that you could whip out and replace with some hand traps or something if you wanted to make it competitive, but this particular list isn't. But it's just really just to show you what I've got together, and let's get straight into it, shall we, rather than me rabbiting on too much. Hopefully make it one of those quicker profiles today. I know you guys like it when I'm not reading out all the effects, I really just wanted to sort of show you where I'm up to with the list. It's been a whole year since I've done a Traptrix deck profile, so let's crack on with it. First of all is Traptrix Mantis, one of the ones that came out in a later set. Code of the Duelist, isn't it? That's right. The name was sort of, I'm missing the name there. But of course it will add a Traptrix monster, which is, you know, the one function that we normally use it for, but it will also return one set card you control and then obviously replace it with another one, so hopefully your opponent's unaware of what you've actually set. Another one that wasn't out of the structure deck. The one that is out of the structure deck is Traptrix Arachnocampa, which is a huge benefit for the deck. This one will special summon itself, assuming you've got another Traptrix monster on the field, and of course it will protect one of your set spell trap cards as well in the same turn, but really it's just the main extender for the deck. Obviously all level 4 and Earth, which is sort of the theme throughout the deck. We're also running 3 of this one also out of the structure deck. So this is Pudica, and obviously you can see that some of them are insects, some of them are plants, which again is sort of common themes. But on Pudica, on normal summon, we'll add the Traptrix Garden from deck to hand, which is great. And on special summon, it will banish one special summoned opponent's monster. So it does a lot for the deck, and most of them have got sort of normal summon effects and special summon effects, and this is no exception, of course. On to 2 off, so I've gone for 2 Mymelios. So I know this is sort of very popular at 3, but I've gone for 2 just to mix things up a little bit, because there's so many other cards that you can make use of. And again, if you're perhaps going for a bit more of a competitive feel, you might push that back up to 3. But it's one of the original ones, and the artwork on this one is just fantastic, and it's sort of really what drew my attention to the deck in the first place. But of course, Mymelio on normal summon will add one whole trap card from your deck, and on special summon will destroy one spell or trap card that your opponent controls. Nice and simple, just like me. Of course, I keep saying that, I think, in my profiles, don't I? I've got 3 one-offs as well. So we've got this Vesiculo, 1 Dionea, and 1 Genlesia. Now these could be taken out if you were hoping to build a bit more of a competitive build. So you need the Dionea really, but the other 2 you could probably do without if you really wanted to take them out. But Vesiculo, you can send 1 set card to the grave in order to special summon another one, and then it has a graveyard effect where you can banish 1 card to set 1 trap from your graveyard. So pretty cool. Dionea is on normal summon will special summon 1 Traptrix from monster from the graveyard, which obviously makes it a bit of an extender. And on special summon, we'll set one trap from your graveyard. So you can go for either way really, but the extra normal summon given to you by Garden makes it all worthwhile, because obviously it just means you can you can search that out quite easily, the Dionea, and then obviously you can normal summon it on top of as well. That's it for Traptrix monsters. So onto support cards. I'm still playing the Parallel Xyz. Most of you will be very familiar with Parallel Xyz, so I won't go through the effects or anything, but obviously it's just to get the plays moving along nice and swiftly. We've also still got the 2 Lord of Heavenly Prisons. I still think this is a bit of a deal for your opponent to deal with, and obviously at the same time protecting those precious set spell or traps. So yeah, and it obviously just means that there's a £3,000 attack point monster on the field fairly easily as well. And the last monster, I still play him, is Bear Graham, Shelled Emperor of the Forest Crown. Easily summoned, and obviously a really big monster at 3,400. I just think it fits within the deck quite nicely as well. A bit of a boss monster for the deck, albeit not part of the actual archetype. Although it might as well be, I suppose. And then we've obviously got some spells, although not loads of them. So I'm running 2 XY imports, which again could be switched out for something a bit more potent if you really wanted to, but this one is where you can add target 1 Xyz monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it, and attach that monster as material. Obviously it's just loading up onto Penguicula, and obviously giving them an extra boost. Trap Tantalizing Tune is obviously a bit of draw power on there, and of course we're running the 1 Traptrix Garden as well, which is the 1 field spell, and obviously allows the extra normal summon, 1 or 2 other effects as well, but those are the spells. And then onto the all important traps. So the new one is the Traptrix Holutia, which of course is the trap monster. Now there is a monster in the extra deck that is additional to my last list, but it doesn't quite work as I thought it might do. So, but I'll come back to that in a minute. But this is obviously the trap normal monster, and it works so well in the deck. It's unreal. That just gives you everything that you need. Also, 3 Oz we're also running Evenly Matched. Just another good normal trap that obviously we can go second with nice and easy, if we are going second, that is. Onto 2 also, we've also got 2 Traptrix. How you can play a Traptrix monster, Traptrix deck without playing Traptrix in it is beyond me, but it does happen. I've seen lots of lists without it, and I appreciate why, because it's not the most potent card in the world, but it is a Traptrix card almost. It certainly uses the Traptrix artwork anyway, but yes, I wanted to keep them in the deck at 2. I'm also running 2 Ice Dragon Prisons. Again, nice and simple effects, and it's at the end of the day it's a trap deck, so you expect to see a good number of traps in here, and of course we're not letting you down. We're playing 2 of the new guy, which is the Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare. So this is where the hole card comes into now. So this is where if your opponent has special summoned a monster this turn, target 1 monster your opponent controls with 2,000 or more attack, destroy it, and then if you have a hole trap card in your graveyard, you can banish the 1 monster from your opponent's graveyard. Nice and simple effect, but obviously the chances are you are going to have a whole trap card in your graveyard, so you should be able to maximize on its effects. And the last one off, because they're all obviously searchable, we've got 1 Gravedigger's Trap Hole, 1 time-spaced Trap Hole, that's right, yeah, 1 Floodgate Trap Hole, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, one of the originals there, of course. Pudge those up a little bit, and of course 1 Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. those, again, you can mix these up as much or as little as you want to. If you're running a Traptrix deck, there's lots and lots of trap hole, trap cards that you can pick from. And because they're searchable, you don't necessarily need to run them at more than one. But, you know, you might run more grave diggers if you're up against a lot of decks with hand traps, for instance. You know, you can mix and match as much as you want, depending on what you're going up against. But that's the beauty of a Traptrix deck, because you can mold it to how you want it. You know, it's pretty easy. Onto the extra deck then. So we've got 2 Sarahs. Now you could obviously arguably run this at 3 and you'd be perfectly suitable to do so. It would be perfectly suitable to do so. I've got it at 2 at the minute, but I might go back to 3 actually, depending on what comments I get on this card that I've added into the extra deck. But we'll get there in a minute, like I say. But we all know Sarah, of course. If a normal trap goes off, you can special summon one Traptrix monster from the deck, and if a monster effect goes off, you can set a trap hole from the deck as well. So nice and easy. Get her summoned as soon as possible and get her protected. We've got we've got 4 more links. So we've got Traptrix, Cularia, that's it. 1 Traptrix Atipus. 1 Auser, the Earth Charmer. You know I love a Charmer card. And this is the card that I sort of added, but doesn't 100% work with the deck. But again, it's not disaster. It's just that it's not quite as good as I thought it might be. But Cularia even, basically specials 1 monster from graveyard. So just during the end phase, that is, bit more of an extender. Atipus can negate monster effects depending on how many different types you've got on the field, and also we all know, and Silhouette Rabbit, of course. So the only effect on Silhouette Rabbit you're going to be able to use, because it does unfortunately say you can set 1 continuous trap from your deck with an effect that special summons itself as a monster. I was kind of hoping that would be able to go for whole year, but unfortunately it doesn't. However, the last effect here, if a card in the spell trap card zone is special summoned to the monster zone, except during the damage step, you can target 1 spell trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. So it might be an option to stick in it, but it's not as strong as I thought it was going to be. So that might switch out for another Sarah. But you know, again, it's just a funds deck, and I want to try the new cards out. On to Xyz, of course, of which there are a few. So we'll start with the Traptrix stuff. So we've got 2 Traptrix Pinguicula, 2 Rafflesia, and 1 Olameris. So Pinguicula is the sort of target for the XC imports as well, just to get as many materials underneath it as possible. It can obviously add a monster from deck to hand and attach, dropping. It can also attach an opponent's monster to it as well, so just to keep building up on those materials. Rafflesia, we all know and love, of course, just being able to activate those whole trap cards from the deck. And Olameris, simply sort of special summons from the graveyard. That's actually the Lost Art version of the card as well. It's not an awful lot different, to be honest with you. I think it's just an extra tattoo on show or something. But yeah, artwork's absolutely fabulous, and this is why we run this deck, of course. And last 4 names on here. So we've got Time Thief Redoer. We've got 1 Tornado Dragon, is my staple for any rank 4 deck. I've got Baramet, the Sacred Sheep Shrub, and Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, of course, with it being an Xyz deck. So the only one that probably needs a little bit explaining there is Baramet, the Sacred Sheep Shrub, but I'm sure this could have been a Traptrix monster, really. But you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 normal trap card in your graveyard and place it at the bottom of your deck, then draw 1 card. And if a normal trap card is activated during the damage step, you can detach 1 material from this from an Xyz monster you control, and if you do, special summon 1 level 4 monster from your hand. You can only use the effects of this card once per turn, obviously. So it, you know, fits really, really well in the deck, and I really like the artwork on it as well. Guys, that is the updated Traptrix profile. So really glad that, really happy that you've made it to the end of the video. If you do like it, feel free to obviously throw us a like. What we are looking for, of course, are the comments. Let me know of the current ratios, what you think of it. They're very, very valuable to me in terms of feedback. And obviously, if there's something I've missed, or if there's something that you think I should perhaps change the ratio of, feel free to let me know. That's the whole point of these profiles. Thanks once again, guys, and we'll see you for the next one. Cheers.